For athletes, training is everything. Countless hours are spent in the weight room, watching tape, and practicing on the court, field, or ice. A true athlete does everything he or she is capable of to bring the body to its most perfect form. But what about the brain?
How can we begin to quantify what makes one person better at something than another? You can take a guy who has a clinical problem and make him into a healthier state. Can you make one of our elite guys even better?
On this episode of Eye on Performance, presented by Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and Gear, the postgame explores the innovative methods that allow athletes to train their brains as well as their bodies. A new and increasingly popular field asks a very critical question. Are we able to train our brains in order to make us better athletes? One company has answered with a resounding yes.
The brain makes electricity, and those electrical patterns change depending on what you're doing.
They're called Sense Labs, a brain-based biosensor and software innovations company at the forefront of this new and exciting field.
What we do is evaluate and identify strengths and weaknesses of an individual's brain state abilities and teach them to enhance those, minimize their weaknesses, enhance the strengths.
The company's specific focus is on creating low-cost personal sensors centered on the mental aspects of performance, such as focus, decision speed, reaction time, and stress regulation.
One of the first steps is to do an evaluation, recording the electrical activity of the brain to see where the strengths and weaknesses are, both from brain capacity for things like focus, for stress recovery, or managing one's stressors, and then talk about how does that apply to your performance. So after identifying those opportunities, then we'll begin the training.
This training entails sessions where sensors are attached to an athlete's head, which painlessly monitor the electrical activity of his or her brain.
And we're gradually coaching that electrical activity to shift. Something that's tangible, training the brain like any other part of their body.
The athlete sits before a screen where what resembles an ordinary video game starts playing, and without any sort of keyboard or remote control, starts manipulating the events of the game using his or her thoughts.
The athlete's job during that process is to really be aware and focus on what am I doing to get this feedback? What strategy am I employing? And then by recognizing that and then conditioning the brain to be able to produce that, they start to carry that over into their performances. You know, we've now trained over 400 athletes, individual athletes that have been professional, world-class, or Olympic level, evaluated over 1,500 elite level guys.
The brain's function and capabilities still remain largely a mystery.
I get asked all the time, what's next? Whatever I can imagine it to be, it's going to be far better. I think we're going to see people on, golf courses and basketball courts all over the place wearing little devices measuring every movement and every thought process, every kind of physiological attribute that might contribute to their performance and really start trying to hack performance.
One thing seems clear: conditioning your brain like you would do your muscles and cardiovascular system really seems to pay off, and training the brain may very well be the new frontier in taking athletic performance to the next level. This episode of Eye on Performance was brought to you by Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and Gear.